Hey guys, so next up is Apparition. Pretty decent support. I play him as a post 4. There's also a mid version that you can try. Not so great. There's many better mid heroes, but the mid build would include something like Aghanim Scepter, so this gets reduced to 0. Dragon Lance for extra range on Chilling Touch. This also gives you attack range, and probably something like a mix of some attack speed and Senjin Kaya, something in that sense. If you were to play this hero mid, not very good though. It's not that strong, and you're kind of still weak in terms of health and just general protection. So let's just do the support one. A couple of items this hero really needs. All of this is really nice, but there's no mobility kind of spells, and there's nothing really that can save you instantly. You can't really move away from damage. Cold Feet and Ice Vortex are mostly used when fight starts offensively, so when you cast these, you're kind of left with nothing for yourself. So if somebody jumps you, you just kind of die there pretty much. So couple of items that helps you with that, and then something for the team, of course, something for the late game, some optional stuff. And yeah, so let's start with boots. So the good thing with any hero that goes Etherlands, and I really like Etherlands on this hero, helps you with mana, helps you with cast range for spells. And this is also like a cast range that you get for free, so kind of like being able to attack with a boosted attack range, and then more casting range for spells. It's like a really nice combo to have, right? So just kind of like getting this. This also can be upgraded into Octarine Core later on, which reduces the cooldowns on everything. So it's a pretty much I would say like an item that you should always consider making. So the best thing with this is you can just take your boots. You can buy the energy booster, because this takes energy booster. You can play with arcane boots, spend the mana right for you, for any ally on your lane, keep spamming with spells, and then once you get more money, you can get Voidstone, which this also needs. And then you would be like with arcane boots and Voidstone, and then when you finally farm the recipe for Etherlands, you just disassemble the arcane boots, lock the boots, unlock everything else, and the item should make, it should be made by itself with the stuff that you already have. So it's like a pretty nice transition. You would be left with something like this, and then you can just leave boots. You can get tranquil boots, might be better, so you can get in and out of the fights. You don't generally go for any regenerational items, so tranquil boots might just be a good idea. Also gives you a nice movement speed bonus, right? So starting with those, couple of items that I think you should always get is something like Force Staff and Glimmer Cape. Force Staff, pretty much as I talked earlier, you need something to kind of save you when it gets close. Just kind of push yourself out of the danger. Build some distance. It's also good for like offensive ways. If you wanna chase somebody, keep casting these, keep hitting them with Chilling Touch, saving any ally that's kind of running away. You can push them out of the danger. Stuff like that. It's always useful. It's always going to be useful, no matter the team pick, no matter your team pick, whatever it is. Even for just yourself, it's kind of just a great way, right, to survive. Deny the enemy the extra XP and gold they would get killing you. And the other item I like making after this would be something like Glimmer Cape. It just kind of expands on this. So these items, they both save you, but it's also a great support items, because it also helps your team. Even though you can use this on yourself, you can use it on teammate. Again, Glimmer Cape, if anybody's running away, if this is not available, or it's on cooldown, or if they're gonna nuke that guy, you just kind of Glimmer Cape on him. 50% magic resistance to the target, right? You can Glimmer Cape them, push yourself out with Force Staff. Just a lot of combination that you can save both of you, right, and do something useful. It's just a great synergy, and something that this hero really needs, right? I feel like he really needs this no matter what. After those, that's already going to be some money invested. The game might not even go much further than this. You are playing support. One also problem with Ancient is you can't just go and even if there's a free camp, right? If your cores are not busy farming those, or maybe they're dead. Ancient doesn't really have any AoEs. There's all of this is single target. It's not like you can just go clear the lane easily or create any jungle packs. You can't really even farm that effectively. So it's in that sense, it's not an easy hero to like build items, really, because first of all, your support, you gotta leave the farm to your cores. Second of all, no AoE, you can't really clear fast enough any like waves and stuff, and like you'll be slowly destroying the wave, and there's somebody will probably teleport, and you're gonna have to let him take over the wave, right? Especially if it's a core, you just gotta let him have it. So the game might even end before even going to all of these. It's still a lot of money for you. If the game goes further, always, you know, the usual options. There's Aeon Disc, further lets you survive, nice boost to health and mana. There's also always You'll Scepter of Divinity. This item, as usual, I would say for support if it's needed. It's like first of all, it's like a Manta style, but for int. So if you get silenced, you can lift yourself up with this. If there's any stun flying towards you, you can also use it to cancel it. Yeah, the only downside is that you don't really break it in a way the Manta style breaks. You can immediately run back. This is gonna lift you up. But the upside is that you can easily use this to interrupt anybody. If there's Witch Doctor, if there's Crystal Maiden, if there's Enigma, Legion Commander, you can easily immediately cancel them with this, or save any ally that's running away. You can just cast this on the enemy chasing them, or cover them with this, push them out with this, or yourself. So keep in mind, this is not a must-have, but it's also a really nice item if there's really like that sort of need, right? And you would if you would get this instead of this, whatever the type of game is, you would probably end with this anyways. This is just like a second life for you. Again, it's really easy to gank Ancient. Glimmer Cape is not Shadow Blade also. As you can see, it takes some time to disappear. And as you're disappearing, you can kind of trace where the hero goes, right? If I do like this, they still see my last path of movement, and this is really short. It's only 5 seconds. It's not like Shadow Blade where you instantly disappear. You can be anywhere. It's movement speed. It's not even movement speed in that sense. So, you know, gotta be careful when you're playing Ancient. So this kind of helps with all of that. So you will have something like extended attack range. You completed that your problem with mana. Not attack range, cast range. Something for yourself and the team, including these. Kind of like a second life for you. This can save a lot of times. And then if there's need, or if you just want to make this in general, if you like this item, you can get that. And that's something that you would end with. If there's money, you would probably just bump this to core, your Netherlands. If I can even this game. Okay, so now it's core, and you can get that. But there's always options as well to get something like Lotus Orb. If there's a lot of targeted spells, but you kinda, I don't know, maybe there's like a nice offlaner in your team or somebody that can kind of benefit from the spells being reflected back to the enemy team, you can get a Lotus Orb. Not really that often for Ancient, I would say, but there's always an option for this. Like this can be a really nice item. Lion with Hex, Shadow Shaman with Shackle and Hex. You can cast that on somebody, kind of protect them in a way, right? At least if they cast their first spell, they get it back, so they can immediately cast the second disable. And yeah, they want to nuke that hero, they're gonna nuke themselves back. So a lot of options below the Orb as well. And if you really have money and if the game really goes that long, there's always Hex. Hex, you can't go wrong with this. You can never go wrong with this on any support. The only problem is it takes a whole bunch of money, and the pieces are kind of really useless for you unless it's like I would say strictly Ultimate Orb, because all that mana and mana generation for an int, you'll be already getting those. So Mystic Staff is useless for you. Void Stone is also useless for you, especially that late. The only item useful for this in the making is Ultimate Orb. And even if you get Ultimate Orb, which is like 2.1k, there's still like 3k something left No, way above 3k, almost like 4k left for the other pieces. The effect is amazing, goes great with a cold feet, because in order to break this spell and not get frozen in place, you gotta travel a certain distance. So cold feeding somebody and hexing them is like a sure way that just kind of completely roots them once they get out of hex. When you're hexed, you can't move a lot at all. You just kind of cast cold feet, hex them. They're trying to get away, they can't. Hex expires and they just immediately go into cold feet effect. So that's a pretty nice combo that you can play off. Shard can be also great. Kind of also depends how much you can keep him in place. The effect of this spell is already great. No need to buff it with like a triple effect. It's already slow. It's increased magic damage, right? The way when I like getting shard is if I feel like there's a couple of blink effects, or at least one target that's annoying with blink, kind of always getting away and stuff. The whole thing is you have not now you have like a AoE spell, right? That does it damage directly on impact if you have a shard. So if somebody is kind of running away with blink, you know, he's kind of making distance. You already casted this, so there's nothing else, or this, or you just can't reach him with this. Or, I don't know, this is on cooldown. It's still like a... So you would have this. It would be like... Wait, what would it got? 3-second cooldown, right? 3 seconds is still a lot. They're gonna blink away before this reload. So having like another way where you can just cast this and immediately reset their blink to 3 seconds again because they're hit by any incoming damage. It could just be like another way to kind of stop somebody blinking away immediately. It's gonna slow them. You can try to catch up, do some other stuff, especially with 4-step. So that's usually when I like getting shard the most. Because yeah, damage per second is nice at all. It's not that high. They have to stay in it. So yeah, it's kind of when I get it. And yeah, that would be all. That would be all item wise. However you want to go, I would suggest getting 4-step and Glimmer Cape no matter what, and then you can kind of decide. Also, other lands close your early mana problems, if you have any, and you know, something for yourself maybe. Those heroes if you need it, like a lot of channeling spells, Legion, Pudge. Those old Troll Warlord as well, right? Kind of lift him up and kind of ruin like more than half of his ult. So yeah, that would be it. Item wise, talents. I usually just take the Chilling Touch, attack range. You know, we made the other lands, extra cast range for spells, even more extra attack range for Chilling Touch. You can kind of stay back nicely then, right? Uh, this hero does not want to be in the middle of a fight again. No ways to escape. All of these are used offensively. So it's just a nice boost, right? Synergizes nicely with all of this. So always take the right one for me. Uh, always take the cold feet breaking distance. Again, you want to try to freeze them as much as possible, or actually as easy as possible, and that is to kind of increase that distance. They have to walk even further. So,
your middle tower is under attack.
Really no brainer left one. Third one, guess you can decide. It's not a big deal. Maybe I would go this. Maybe I would go this one. It depends. It's not a big deal really. Although probably the right one. More slow, more reduced magic resistance. Especially if there's somebody that kind of nukes a lot with spells. You know, it gets buffs to 30% increased magic damage, and also some extra slow, right? And also keep in mind you're not playing the mid version. You're not buying Scepter. Uh, Although there's some people that play Scepter with support anyway, so I guess then this will have more value. But yeah, I'll probably take the right one. And last one is 450 AoE Cold Feet. Ult is great, but that's kind of a... You don't have this. What you just see if it update. It's always like this. So 4% Ice Blast kill threshold, that's great and all. It's still 40 seconds. It still needs to hit. Still kind of need to be lower with health, not have any effects, not have anybody that can save him. This can be also cast on them, reduce the impact. This can save them. This can save them, right? So having like a nice AOE for free. So this becomes AOE. There's five targets that essentially, right? If they don't make enough distance when you cast this, five of them get frozen. That's like the perfect scenario, right? But it can still happen. So it's kind of like you know, I can't remember now. There's a couple more heroes that get this upgrade, so that their single target spell becomes AOE. Something like Silencer's Scepter, right? Last word becomes AOE. It's also really nice. But yeah, why not, right? The after effect is great. You don't have to really target anybody, not have any prio, if the game goes that long, of course, to reach 25th. Usually it doesn't, but if it does, right? So I just like that one. Like I said, ult is great, but it just beats it, I think, by a lot. No downside. Well, at least one target is gonna hit anyways, which you would do with it, do with this spell normally. So right, why not try to get that number as high as you can for the hit targets? And yeah, that will be it. Uh, some items that you should kind of always make some use. Always think about Hex. Hex is really nice with Cold Feet
Your
combo.
middle tower
They
is
get out
under
Hex, they get
attack.
frozen. Uh, like I said, these are like if there's card for this, usually there's like a blink effect or I, maybe kind of clockwork is in the game, so you can kind of cast this and they kind of trapped in the whole cogs thing with his first spell. I forget what it's called, Barrier Assault. Also, there's DPS from this. You know, there's a couple heroes like that you can benefit more getting shard, but kind of that money is just not always going to be needed for you. Like I said, your support you can't really farm. There's no AOE's. If even if you're the only one alive and there's like three waves against you, you just cannot clear those waves effectively at all. You would have to cast ult, but it doesn't really even kill them, right? It works kind of like a higher health percentage, right? Not really made for clearing waves that effectively. So yeah, that'll be Asian. Let's not waste more time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.